Fighting with the swords, gone. Playing with the brain, on. Let's play Giraffe Chess Hattrick League Season 3.
International Giraffe Chess Federation presents Hattrick League Season 3 between 10 Proddatur teams. Hello everyone, welcome to India's new 68 squared Giraffe Chess Academy Proddatur, and welcome to the live telecast of no draws, no resigns, only win or lose in just 70 moves Giraffe Chess Hattrick League 2024 Season 3. Let us watch Giraffe Chess Hattrick League 37th match between Proddatur Kings versus Proddatur Lions team. Each team consists of 3 players. Whoever team all outs opponent all 3 players is the match winners. Let us see the toss at the center of the court.
Head is the call from Proddatur Kings. Tails, toss won by the Proddatur Lions team. What you will select? Proddatur Lions team won by the toss.
And in toss, Proddatur Lions team won the toss and elected to play on black side.
Look straight.
And here is the both teams lineup. For Proddatur Lions team, Lohit is the opener and Ramcharan is the second player, and Dinesh will comes to play as third player. And for Proddatur Kings, Abdul Waris is the opener and Aravind is the second player, and Abdullah comes to play as third player. Now let us watch first game of the match between Proddatur Kings team opening player Abdul Waris versus Proddatur Lions team opening player Lohit Reddy. Let us see among these 2 players who will win this game and who will do hat-trick and who will be the hat-trick hero of today's great match. Let us watch. Let us move on to the court. Little Scholar awardee Proddatur Kings team opening player Abdul Waris is ready to play on white side. Let us see on other side of the court. One-time hat-trick hero, best scholar awardee Proddatur Lions team opening player Lohit Reddy is ready to play on black side. Now we can see both players are ready to start game 1 of the match. Black side player Lohit is ready to hit the clock. Yes, he hit the clock. Game 1 started.
Pawn to f3, pawn to d5, pawn to h3, queen to f6, giraffe to e3, queen to d8, giraffe to h2, pawn to h6, pawn to g3, giraffe to f6, pawn to f4, pawn capture pawn at f4, pawn capture pawn at f4, pawn to c6, knight to f3, giraffe to c7, knight to e5, giraffe to b4, knight to c3, giraffe capture rook at a1, knight to f3, giraffe to b4, bishop to d0, queen to f6, pawn to h4, queen capture pawn at f4, pawn to e3, queen to g3 and check to white king, king to e2, queen to g6, knight to g5, pawn capture knight at g5, pawn capture pawn at g5, giraffe to e5, pawn to d3, pawn to f6, pawn capture pawn at f6, queen capture pawn at f6, knight to e4, queen to f5, giraffe to g5, rook capture rook at h1, knight to d6 and check to black king, bishop capture knight at d6, giraffe capture bishop at d6, queen queen capture giraffe at d6, giraffe capture rook at h1, giraffe to e6, giraffe to g4, knight to f6, giraffe to h1, giraffe to d9, pawn to d4, giraffe to f8, king to d2, queen to b4 and check to white king, pawn to c3, queen to e7, pawn to e4, knight capture pawn at e4 and check to white king, king to c1, queen to g5 and check to white king, king to c2, pawn to d6, queen to d3, bishop to f5, pawn to b4, knight to g3, giraffe to e2, bishop capture queen at d3 and check to white king, king capture bishop at d3, knight capture bishop at f1, bishop to f2, queen to f5 and check to white king, king to d2, queen to f5, king to c2 illegal, king to c4, queen to e6 and check to white king, pawn to d5, queen capture giraffe at e2, king to b3, knight to d2 and check to white king, king to a4, queen capture bishop at f2, pawn capture pawn at c6, knight capture pawn at c6, pawn to b5, knight to b8, king to a5, king to f7, pawn to b6, pawn capture pawn at b6 and check to white king, king capture pawn at b6 illegal, king to b5, king to g6, pawn to c4,
Now Lohit
queen to
immediately moved
c5
his queen
and
to
check to white
c5
king
and
and
set
it's a
check to
checkmate.
white king. It is not only check, it is a checkmate win to Lohit. What a superb checkmate win to Lohit. Abdul Waris out. Proddatur, King's opening player, Abdul Waris out. And Lohit with this win, he won the first game and still need 2 more wins to do hat-trick and become hat-trick hero of today's great match. Let us watch second game of the match between Proddatur Lions team opening player Lohit Reddy versus Proddatur Kings team second player Aravind. Let us see among these two players who will win this game and who will do hat-trick and who will be the hat-trick hero of today's great match. Among these two players, Lohit Reddy already won the first game and now playing for winning second game. Let us watch what will happen. Let us move on to the court. 4 times hat-trick hero, best scholar awardee, Proddatur Kings team second player Aravind is ready to play on black side. Let us see on other side of the court. 1-time hat-trick hero, best scholar awardee, Proddatur Lions team opening player Lohit Reddy is ready to play on white side. Now we can see both players are ready to start game 2 of the match. Black side player Aravind is ready to hit the clock. Yes, he hit the clock. Game 2 started.
Pawn to e4, pawn to e5, knight to f3, pawn to d6, pawn to d4, giraffe to e6, knight to g1, pawn captured pawn at d4, queen captured pawn at d4, knight to f6, pawn to e5, knight to c6, queen to e3, knight capture pawn at e5, queen to d2, giraffe to b8, queen to d1, bishop to d7, giraffe to e3, knight to e4, giraffe to b4, queen to f6, giraffe capture knight at e5, pawn capture giraffe at e5, pawn to b3,
Now Aravind
Queen
immediately captured
captured
pawn at
pawn
f2 and
check to
set
white king,
check to
and
white
it's
king.
a checkmate.
It is not only check, it is a checkmate win to Aravind. What a superb checkmate win to Aravind. Lohit out, and Proddatur Lions team lost the opening player. And a great disappointment to the Lohit. He lost hat-trick opportunity. And whereas Aravind, he got the hat-trick chance. With this win, Aravind, he won the first game and still need two more wins to do hat-trick and become hat-trick hero of today's great match. Now, let us watch third game of the match between Proddatur Kings team second player Aravind versus Proddatur Lions team second player Ram Charan Nayak. Let us see among these two players who will win this game and who will do hat-trick and who will be the hat-trick hero of today's great match. Among these two players, Aravind already won the first game and now playing for winning second game. Let us see what will happen. Let us move on to the court. 4 times hat-trick hero, best scholar awardee, Proddatur Kings team second player Aravind is ready to play on white side. Let us see on other side of the court. Little scholar awardee, Proddatur Lions team second player Ram Charan Nayak is ready to play on black side. Now we can see both players are ready to start game 3 of the match. Black side player Ram Charan Nayak is ready to hit the clock. Yes, he hit the clock. Game 3 started.
pawn to e4, pawn to e5, pawn to d3, knight to f6, pawn to c3, pawn to d6, pawn to d4, pawn knight capture pawn at e4, bishop to c4, knight to g5, pawn to h4, knight to e6, queen to f3, giraffe to c6, pawn to d5, pawn to e4, queen capture pawn at e4, knight to g6 illegal, pawn to g6, pawn capture knight at e6, pawn capture pawn at e6, giraffe to d3, giraffe capture giraffe at d3, bishop capture giraffe at d3, bishop to g7, knight to h3, pawn to d5, queen to f4, rook to f8, queen to g3, pawn to h5, queen capture pawn at g6 and check to blacking, rook to f7, knight to g5, queen to e7, knight capture rook at f7, queen capture knight at f7, queen to h7, knight to c6, bishop to g6, king to f8, bishop capture queen at f7, king capture bishop at f7, queen capture pawn at h5 and check to blacking, king to f6, queen to g5 and check to blacking, king to f7, pawn to h5, bishop to f6, queen to g6 and check to blacking, king to e7, bishop to g5, Bishop capture bishop at g5, queen capture bishop at g5 and check to blacking. King to d6, queen to g7, giraffe to b8, pawn to h6, giraffe to e7, pawn to h7, pawn to e5, giraffe to e3 and check to blacking. King to d7, pawn to h8, pawn equal to queen, pawn to b5, queen to f8, bishop to b7, rook to h7, rook capture queen at f8, queen capture rook at f8, pawn to d4, pawn capture pawn at d4, pawn capture pawn at d4, giraffe to b4, knight capture giraffe at b4, knight to d0, pawn to d3, queen capture giraffe at e7 and check to blacking, king to c8, rook to h8 and check to blacking, king to d9,
Now Aravind immediately moved
queen
his
to
queen
d8 and check to blacking, and
d8
it's a
and set
checkmate.
check to blacking. It is not only check, it is a checkmate win to Aravind. What a superb checkmate win to Aravind. Ram Charan Nayak out. Proddatur Lions team, second player Ram Charan Nayak out. And with this win, Aravind, he won continuously 2 games and still need one more win to do hat-trick and become hat-trick hero of today's great match. Now, let us watch fourth game of the match between Proddatur Kings team second player Aravind versus Proddatur Lions team last player Dinesh. Let us see who will win this game. If Dinesh wins this game, match will be tied with the 2-all games and go for 5th game for result. If Aravind wins this game, it will be hat-trick to the Aravind and he will be the hat-trick hero of today's great match. Let us move on to the court. 4 times hat-trick hero, best scholar awardee, Proddatur Kings team. Second player, Aravind, is ready to play on black side. Let us see on other side of the court. 1-time hat-trick hero, young scholar awardee, Proddatur Lions team last player, Dinesh, is ready to play on white side. Now we can see both players are ready to start game 4 of the match. Black side player Aravind is ready to hit the clock. Yes, he hit the clock. Game 4 started.
Knight to f3, pawn to d6, pawn to d4, pawn to c5, pawn capture pawn to c5, pawn to d5, knight to c3, pawn to e5, pawn to e3, bishop capture pawn to c5, knight to a4, bishop to d6, knight to d2, bishop to d7, pawn to e4, bishop capture knight at a4, pawn to b3, bishop to d7, pawn capture pawn at d5, queen to f6, pawn capture pawn at e6, bishop capture pawn at e6, queen to e2, bishop to c5, queen to d3, queen capture pawn at f2 and check to white king, king to d1, knight to f6, knight to e4, knight capture knight at e4, queen capture knight at e4, knight to c6, bishop to b5, rook to d8 and check to white king, bishop to d2.
Now Aravind
Queen
immediately
captured
captured
bishop
bishop
at
at
D2
d2 and
it's
set
a
check to
checkmate.
white king. It is not only check, it is a checkmate win to Aravind. What a superb checkmate win to Aravind. Dinesh out, Proddatur Kings team all out. And with this out, Proddatur Kings team all out and lost the match. And whereas Aravind, he won continuously 3 games and did hat-trick and became hat-trick hero of today's great match, and this is his 5th hat-trick in Hattrick League. Congratulations, 5 times hat-trick hero Aravind.
Hello everyone, welcome to Giraffe Hattrick League 2024 Season 3. Just now, we completed successfully match between Proddatur Kings team versus Proddatur Lions team. In this today's match, just we watch most exciting moves, exciting win by the Proddatur Kings team player Aravind. Aravind did extraordinary hat-trick today. Congratulations Aravind for hat-trick and become the hat-trick hero T-shirt winner. Upon the International Chess Federation giving 500 rupees cash prize for the Hattrick heroes. Now let us have a small interview. You played very well. Earlier you did a hat-trick by 70 moves. Today you all out opponent all lines player by just 72 moves. Once again you created record in a hat-trick league, Giraffe Chess. In that, the first game you played with Lohit by checkmate in 40 moves. Lohit is very good player. You made out by checkmate. So what is the difficult and what is the easiest one in that?
చాలా మంచిగా ఏమంటే టెన్షన్ ఎక్కువ కావడం వల్ల నా ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ వల్ల నేను విన్నర్ కావడం ఈజీ.
Very good. Next one, in game 2 you played into Ram Charan. He is good player. In Ram Charan, against Ram Charan also you out Ram Charan by checkmate. How you win in that?
మిడ్ గేమ్ రామ్ చరణ్ చాలా టెన్షన్ ఫ్రీ అయ్యి ఫ్రీ పవర్స్ ఇచ్చారు, దానివల్ల ఈజీగా అయింది.
Okay, that is the reason. In game 3 you played with Dinesh. Dinesh is very good player. Then how you make him win by checkmate just by 18 moves? By that only you completed the hat-trick by 72 moves. How is it possible?
దినేష్ పవర్ టు పవర్ చేయడం వల్ల నా ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ వల్ల నేను గెలవడం ఈజీ అయింది.
So do not give power to power unnecessarily. So that is the reason today Arvind.
And finally, here is today's hat-trick hero Arvind's scorecard. In game 1, he outs Lohit by checkmate in 13 moves, and in game 2, he outs Ram Charan Nayak by checkmate in 41 moves, and in game 3, he outs Dinesh by checkmate in just 18 moves. Totally, Arvind did hat-trick by 72 moves. Congratulations, hat-trick hero Arvind. All the best for the next matches. And here is the points table of Giraffe Chess Hattrick League 2024 Season 3. Let us see what are the top 4 teams after finishing off 37 matches. Proddatur Spartans team with 14 points stands on first position. Proddatur Chiruta's team with 12 points stands on second position. Proddatur Jaguars team with 10 points stands on third position. Proddatur Kings team with 10 points stands on fourth position. Each team, after playing 9 matches, final points are calculated for top 4 positions. Those top 4 teams only qualify for the final playoffs.